पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनित्य नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Today we will be discussing on Bhagavad-Gita Sloka 10.38, chapter 10 verse 38 of the Bhagavad-Gita. So I will read the verse, synonyms, translation and purport now. The verse is as follows: Dando damayatāmasmi nītirasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatāmaham. Synonyms: Dandaha, punishment; Damayatam, of all means of suppression; Asmi, I am; Nitihi, morality; Asmi, I am; Jigishatam, of those who seek victory; Maunam, silence; Cha, and; Eva, also; Asmi, I am; Guhyanam, of secrets; Jnanam, knowledge; Jnanavatam, of the wise; Aham, I am. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. So let's get into our discussion for today. We are in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. And in this 10th chapter, we have now almost reached the conclusion. So, this chapter, along with the 9th chapter, are the two middle chapters of the Bhagavad Gita and are considered the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So, in this chapter, there are about 82 opulences which the Lord mentions in this chapter. So here in this question, in this chapter, the Lord is answering unexpressed questions of Arjuna, just like we have already seen in the previous class of 10.37 Bhagavad Gita, that the Lord is answering the unexpressed questions of Arjuna in this chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So from 19 to 37, 77 opulences are told from verses 19 to 37, and 4 are given in verse number 38, that is which we are discussing today, and one opulence is in verse 39, which is the next verse. So 77 plus 4 makes it 81, plus 1 makes it 82. And then in verses 40, 41 and 42, he again describes himself, not his opulences but his glories. That for example, that there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. This is in the verse 40. So in these verses, he doesn't speak about any opulences, but he glorifies himself. So the Lord compares himself with the things that we see in this world, and he says that these things are his expansions. So for example, here among all the means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. So that this is a thing that we see in this material world, and we can perceive in this material world, that punishment, people who commit crimes, people who make mistakes and they violate the laws of the country are sent into jail, wherein they get punishment there, and depending on the crime the sentence is awarded. So what punishment should be awarded depends on the crime. Similarly, here the Lord says that I am this punishment. So he compare himself with the thing that we see in this world, and among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. So punishment is the greatest way for suppressing lawlessness. So the Lord says that he is punishment. So these are indication of the energies of the Lord, and it is not that we are supposed to be attracted to the energies and we should forget the Lord. That is not the meaning. Like for example, in the previous verse here we have seen that of the sages I am Vyasadeva, among great thinkers I am Ushana or Shukracharya. That is in verse number 38 we saw that. So here it does not mean that Shukracharya is Krishna. No, it means that all are ultimately opulences of the Lord only. But here in this context it means that Shukracharya is being described as an opulence of Krishna, or Krishna compares himself with Shukracharya among great thinkers. So it's an opulence of the Supreme Lord by which we can always remember him. So whenever we think about great thinkers, we can say, oh yes, Shukracharya represents Krishna. Krishna is Shukracharya among the great thinkers. But we should not think that Shukracharya is Krishna, and we should be attracted by the opulences and we should forget the Lord. No, that is not the meaning here. And here the one of the opulences in this verse, that is the 38th verse, we saw that among the wise the Lord says that he is wisdom. So the wise man is one who can distinguish between matter and spirit. So in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, which is the Sarartha Darshini Tika, he speaks very less of these great opulences, because the great acharyas are already in a mood of sweetness and they don't need to focus on the opulences, as they already know it perfectly. But if we focus on the sweetness, we will become sahajiyas and we will forget his greatness. We will think that, oh well, Lord is just like a person like us. We see that the Lord has lot of sweetness, vatsalya rasa, madhuri rasa, shanta rasa, dasya rasa, sakhya rasa. We can say that, oh well, even I also do like that in my daily life. So we may think that the Lord is just an ordinary person like us, and we may think that this process of bhakti will become very easy and sahajiyas, basically, that we will think that we are elevated and that the Lord is like us, which is not correct. We will think of him as ordinary, as we mentioned earlier. So we must focus on the opulences of the Lord. For us it is not directly mentioned, or we should not, rather it is recommended that we should not directly approach the pastimes of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. That's why first, even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami doesn't directly describe the pastimes of the Lord initially itself. First, in the first canto, there is a conversation between Shukracharya, Sutta Goswami and Naimisharanya sages. Then in the second canto from the first chapter, the conversation between Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj is introduced. And then all these conversations, they speak about the opulences of the Supreme Lord mainly. And then when we go up to the 5th canto, 6th canto, 7th canto, 8th canto, 9th canto, all these cantos, they describe who the Lord is, the greatness of the Lord's pastimes in great detail. And then when we go to the 10th canto, we find the elaborate descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. So one who is fully acquainted with these first 9 cantos, he understands the glories of the Supreme Lord, and then only he can enter the 10th canto and experience the sweetness. This is our path for us. But acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, etc., they have already reached that stage of elevated understanding, and they already know that the Supreme Lord is Sri Krishna, and that they already know the opulences of the Lord. That's why they focus on the sweetness. So in the 10th canto there are 90 chapters, 90, and from 29 to 33, these are the essence, and they speak on the Rasa Panchadhyaya, or the 5 chapters of the Ras Leela. So we need to see the opulences as very important, and we should see them as the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So these opulences which we have, that for example in today's verse we are studying that among means of suppressing lawlessness I am punishment, among those who seek victory I am morality, of secret things I am silence, of the wise I am the wisdom. So these opulences are given to us as an essence of Bhagavad Gita. They are right in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. So we need to know these opulences first. Otherwise, when we go to the 10th canto up to the pastimes of the Lord, then we will think that, well, the Lord is just an ordinary person like us. These sweetness even I have in my daily life, and we will become lusty, etc. So many other thoughts. We will think that this is ordinary, this pastime is just mundane, like that. So when we approach it without reading the opulences and the greatness of the Lord first, before, without being well acquainted, then we will otherwise we will misunderstand these pastimes, and people who misunderstand these kind of pastimes, they mislead the ordinary people in general as well. So it is important that we know it, these opulences, and ultimately the Lord should remain in our thoughts. We should not be lost in the Vibhuti and forget the Lord. So this point we have explained earlier also, that we should focus on the Lord, and we should not just be lost in the opulence and think about the Lord, so and forget about the Lord, so we should think that if the opulences of the Lord are so good, then how good will be the Supreme Lord, how great the Supreme Lord will be. So this thing is there, that infinity minus 1 is also equal to infinity. So infinity minus infinity is also equal to infinity. So same thing with the Lord, that he is complete, and so many complete units emanate from him, but he still remains the complete balance. So Om Purnamata Purnamidam, invocation mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. We should remember the greatness of the Lord, and we should be convinced to take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. So now this danda, among the means of suppressing lawlessness I am punishment. So let's get into a small explanation of each of these opulences that we have for today. So danda, so there are 4 ways of dealing with people in diplomacy: sam, dam, danda, bhed. So sama means with sweet words, trying to pacify, trying to negotiate. Dama means to threaten, and danda means punish, and bheda means to create dissension among the enemy. This is bheda. So, and he gave special instruction to kill certain people in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That is also bheda only. So the Lord gave special instructions to kill certain people in Kurukshetra. This is also bheda. And Kripamayi Danda that we have under this is punishment out of mercy. So the Lord is punishing the people, those who are miscreants, out of mercy. We have to change people's heart. The Lord is trying to pacify the people. No, not to pacify, but to change their heart and to make them take shelter of Him. But when they are not doing it, that is when He has to punish them. So, example, the government is forced to execute certain people due to the fact that they are misbehaving. So, when such people misbehave, it sets a bad example for the other citizens of the country. But still, they do it, and the government is forced to execute them. Such people will know what will happen to them, but they still do it. So this danda is not to be done by us independently. There are a lot of rules and regulations in the Vedas to deal with danda, and even the Lord is also dealing with the Lord is also dealing with people by the method of danda when they don't take shelter of Him. So for example, a soldier kills on the field and he is awarded. So we have seen that many soldiers time and again they have fought bravely and they have received medals for Veer Chakra, Param Veer Chakra, etc. But he takes his gun and he goes on vacation. When he is on vacation, by mistake he kills somebody. This same person who earlier received an award, the same judge who asked that he be given the award will now say that send him to the jail, because he is the one who killed the person. So the same person, but the same thing, the killing is the same, but the result that we get is different. So he is the same person, he is using the same gun, etc. But he is killing the opposite soldier, then he is being awarded. But if he kills a person in the neighborhood, then he will be killed. No, not exactly. He will be put in jail. So whatever the punishment that is there. So Bhagavad-Gita 1.32 to 35, the verse gives an explanation toward the last on Dhanda. And there are 10 to 20 different meanings of Niti. Niti is the second thing, morality. So guidance, direction, management, conduct, course of action. Few scriptures like Chanakya Niti, etc. have given various meanings. So morality is associated with goodness, law, justice. So that's why it is chosen by Prabhupada as the meaning of Niti. So when good people and Niti are there with us, it is best. So if you have the good people around you who are ready to give you proper advice, you may be in a bad condition, but still later there is a high chance that you will come up, because you have a good, selfless and proper advice, and you have proper morality, law, justice. So raw muscle power will not make you stand for a long time. Yes, it will give you short-term success, but long-term success will come only when you have good people around you, only when you have good relation with people and they are ready to advise you. So many of the emperors that we had in previous times, like Mughals and previous emperors before them who ruled India, they always used to fight among themselves, they always used to quarrel, and that's the reason why at the right time they didn't have the right advice. Few of them at the right time they didn't have the right advice, and that's the reason why they fell down and lost territories, battles, etc. So raw muscle power will not stand for long. This is to be understood, that when you have good people, good advice around you, then only you can elevate yourself. So maunam chaivasmi guhyanam, let us focus on this now. So the Lord says, I am silence. So this can be misunderstood in a variety of ways, not exactly a variety of ways, but that the Lord says that I am silence. So when he says I am silence, there are many yogis or many people who are not speaking anything, who are always silent and who are just doing their own activity, that is a meditation. So such kind of people are definitely silent, but this is not the thing that the Lord is saying here. Sometimes it may happen that silence is more powerful than a million words, but the meaning that the Lord is trying to say here is that unless and until you don't have anything to discuss about Krishna, Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhir loka mangalam yat krita Krishna samprashno, that these questions relate to Krishna, that's why they are for the benefit of the people. Bhavadbhir loka mangalam. So only when you have such kind of things, open your mouth. Otherwise, don't speak about nonsense things. So there are three types of discussion under this connection. So Vada. Vada means discussion for the search of truth. And Jalpa. Jalpa means talking only of material gain. Puja, Labha, Pratishtha, etc. And Vitanda. Vitanda is just defeating someone, thinking only of defeating somebody, not listening to others, etc. etc. So in the context of Jalpa or material gain, the Lord says maintain silence. So when somebody asks rubbish and we don't give proper answers, this is in this way also silence. So Prabhupada did that many times. Like for example, one time there was a person who was listening while Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and he said, that person asked a question, why do you have this marking on your head, this white tilaka marking on the head? Prabhupada said, why are you wearing tie? So this person was silenced, but throughout the whole lecture he was thinking, why I am wearing tie, why I am wearing tie. And then at the end, Prabhupada told him that ask some logical question, not some rubbish question like this. So Shrota Vyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrashah. So these materialists have hundreds of topics to discuss. So that's why Apashyata Matma Tattvam Griheshu Grihamedinam. Grihamedis are attached householders. They have a lot of nonsense topics to discuss. So this is why Maunam is there. So unfortunately today this Maunam is being misused. As we discussed earlier, they are being misunderstood in many ways. So for example, Sadhu is quiet for 4 years, he didn't speak a single word. There is a huge queue for seeing him. But here there is a person who is trying to deliver the actual message, trying to do something which can liberate all the souls. Nobody comes to see him. Because this is unfortunately the situation in this world. So Jnana. Now coming to Jnana, there are three types of Jnana. Tampadartha. First one, Tampadartha is only about relation with the soul and the Lord, and what is the duty further ahead in this path. And Tatpadartha is knowledge of Brahman, and Aikya is the soul and super soul are one. These are the three types. And of the wise, I am the wisdom. So in this connection, Krishna helped the Pandavas in many ways. For example, he helped them to kill Jayadratha. So he told Arjuna that if his head falls down, then the person who made his head fall, who killed him, his head will get cut into 100 pieces. So his father gave him this curse. So you drop the head of Jayadratha on his father's lap only at Samanta Panchaka lake, where he is sitting, where his father was sitting at the time of the Kurukshetra war. So Arjuna shot an arrow in such a way that it cut Jayadratha's head. It flew a distance all the way to Samanta Panchaka and dropped the head on Jayadratha's father. And immediately he got up, what happened? And then as soon as that head fell down, his head also split into 100 pieces and he died. So he also helped to kill Dronacharya, Bhishma Dev, Karna, like that. So this is about Jnana. So the wise man is he who can differentiate between matter and spirit, as we have discussed earlier, between God's superior and inferior natures. So such knowledge is Krishna himself. So these are the four opulences of the Supreme Lord in this 38th verse of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So we have one more opulence that is to be covered in the 39th verse, and then the glories of Lord Krishna from 40, 41 and 42. Then this chapter 10 will be over of Bhagavad Gita. So the discussion will be over. So this is the end of my explanation on Bhagavad Gita Sloka 10.38. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.